The savage situation.
Drdisrespect. Like the guy is magnificent in so many ways. Like I'm a huge fan. I've been lucky to meet the guy. I've interviewed him before. There's a video on my channel. Make sure to check it out. Where I met him at the esports industry awards. The night he did that hilarious speech when he was all happy as Larry, and won an award as well. I mean, the thing that's happened obviously in the last 24 hours with E3 and the IRL stream. Let's talk about it, because I want to get a conversation going here about this, because it is something which continuously comes up in the creator world. The TNCs with what you can and can't do in any form of video content, be it streaming or be it making a video. Now, if you guys didn't know already, E3 2019 is well underway. It's almost over, actually, over in LA. And Drdisrespect, one of the biggest Twitch stars on the planet, a huge ambassador for the platform, if anything, he did an IRL stream in real life. Like, he did a stream where he basically walked around, his first ever one, where he had a camera guy operator with him. He had a bodyguard, I think, called Dan the Body, just this hench kind of 5'0" guy. And obviously him being 6'8", Drdisrespect, you know, he's walking around, and it looks like a bit of a circus. But that's the whole draw. The whole thing is to be drawn into him and his just weird and wonderful world. And it was amazing. Like, it was really good. I was watching it live. It was great. He was interacting with pretty much everyone who would talk to him. He was doing the whole shtick. You know, the 2-time blockbuster video game champion. You know, his whole persona is based around being as, you know, extrovert, wild, and as fun as possible. What happens is, in this stream, on a few occasions, he wanders into a bathroom to use the restroom, and he's in there in the bathroom, basically, and the camera operator is still filming in the bathroom. Now, that is the fundamental problem with this whole ban that he's received on Twitch. He's been banned, we think, for 24 hours. I don't know 100% why, how long it's for. I think the way that Twitch works, I think it's 24 hours is your first kind of ban for some kind of breaching the TNCs, and then it goes into longer periods of time depending on how serious the offense you've done is, until it becomes a real problem and they have to completely kind of cut you off your whole channel, which has happened to people before. So presume it's 24 hours for now. The problem is that creators have done this for a long time. They've pushed the boundaries and they've pushed the boat out, and things have happened which have caused them to be banned or to be reprimanded in some respect. But because there's no governing law as to what directly breaches that term, it becomes grey matter, basically, as to what happens with the person in question. Now, for me, obviously, by simply filming in a bathroom, he's breaking US law. Like, you can't film anything in a public restroom of any sorts whatsoever. So I definitely think there's an element there of just being so caught up in the whirlwind of being in character, being at this, you know, the biggest gaming event in the world, surrounded by fans. You know, obviously, you're 9 times out of 10 when he does his, does Drdisrespect, or he is the doc, he's in a confined environment. He's in like he's in his studio space at home. He can completely contain anything he says and does to that space. When he goes out into the big, bold, beautiful world, everything else comes into it as well. Like, every other factor. Like, you can't count on what people are going to do and what they're going to say. You can't count on where you're going to go, what you're going to do. He couldn't have blocked out every single route he was going to take on this walk around when he ended up in this bathroom, in this toilet. It sounds so mental, doesn't it? We're kind of talking about a guy walking into a toilet and how it's caused him to have his multi-million-pound channel banned for 24 hours. But it is completely legit. Like, it is. It had to happen. It had some kind of, I guess, because it is what it is, because it is breaching a law, they had to make a point. I think the thing for me is that being an ambassador of the platform, the disconnect for me is the fact that this is one of the biggest streamers. I think when I was watching, he had like 28,000 concurrents watching him at any one time, which is a lot. Which is a lot. Only the likes of Tfue and others who can, kind of demanding like sometimes upwards of 6 figures. Ninja, one of them as well, 6 figures, people watching them, but 28,000 is very much one of the top on Twitch at any one time, really. That's a big amount of engagement. 28,000 people, whatever it was, are watching this guy, kind of walk around, do his thing in public, and it's brilliant to watch. But one of those people that's watching has to be someone who works directly at Twitch, someone who is, who is there as a Twitch employee or the company themselves. They've got to be keeping tabs on their biggest creators, because their biggest creators on the platform are obviously the ones that are bringing the most amount of revenue on the platform as well. 9 times out of 10 at least anyway. There he is doing his thing. There is no doubt in my mind that he's got a team who work at Twitch with him, who are monitoring what he's doing, day to day, and monitoring, his outputs to make sure that he's, on the straight and narrow and doing well. Someone should have stepped in, because he did it multiple times in different bathrooms. Someone should have stepped in and basically said, "Dude, you can't do this. You can't. This is not. You breached the T&Cs. Great. We're gonna. But you've got to stop now." No one did. People just let him carry on, and I don't understand why that's happening in this day and age where we're so bound. We're so bound by, or our hands are so tied as to what we can actually do and not do on a platform. Like a YouTube, Twitch. Whatever the platform might be, Mixer, whatever. Your hands are tied in some respects as to what you can and can't do. How is someone not there monitoring what he's doing and making sure that he's knows what he can and can't do in that situation? That's a fundamental problem that always going to pop up if he needs to go in someone like that. Obviously I think he was looking to maybe find some comedy in it, or trying to find some funny stuff, but in that moment, in that character, he's not thinking. Same goes for the camera guy as well. The guy filming him should have known better than to not go into a public restroom. But, it's a shame that Doc has been banned. 24 hours, it's not not a huge amount of time. And if he's E3 anyway, then it's not a massive amount of time. But it's clear. It's clear the stream was a success. Like the IRL thing for him worked out brilliantly, in the fact that the engagement and the community around his channel loved it. It didn't work out well from the fact that he broke rules. He broke a law, and luckily he didn't catch anybody doing anything in that, nothing was caught directly on camera. Otherwise, he could have faced a serious lawsuit. Being the high profile guy that he is, he could have got some serious backlash from that, from someone simply saying, "You film me, I didn't want that to happen in a space that it shouldn't have been done. I'm going to sue you." So that's lucky. But at the end of the day, I find that Doc is one of the best creators on the whole platform. He's created this whole world persona, which is, second to none. The guy's a bit of a genius, he really is. And it's a shame that this has happened, but it's a slap on the wrist, and he'll learn from it, I'm sure. But it also points out the fingers at other people in the creator space as well, and the things that people are getting away with and don't get banned for like-minded tomfoolery. It makes you wonder, is the reason that he was put on a pedestal now and everyone knows about what happened is because he is who he is? Is it because he's so high-profile that an example had to be made out of him? And that's my question, really. And that's why I'm a little bit like, I understand completely why it's happened. I understand why he's been reprimanded for this. But I do wonder whether there are other people who are far more deserving of such punishment. Let me know in the comments what you think. I'm curious to know.